The story of Esther, a riveting narrative from the Hebrew Bible, centers around the theme of courage and the quest for justice and truth. Esther, a Jewish queen of Persia, courageously intervenes to prevent a massacre of her people. At its core, her story is about standing up against tyranny and advocating for one's community, showcasing the profound impact an individual can have in the face of injustice. The significance of this point is immense, as it highlights the power of personal courage to influence broader social justice. Esther's journey underscores the potential for individuals to effect change, even within oppressive systems. Esther's courage is exemplified in two pivotal moments. First, she approaches King Ahasuerus unsummoned, a dangerous act punishable by death, to reveal Haman's plot against the Jews and plead for her people's survival. Her willingness to risk her life demonstrates the power of personal bravery in the quest for justice. Second, Esther hosts a banquet where she bravely exposes Haman, the king's advisor, as the architect of the planned genocide, ultimately leading to his downfall. These examples highlight how her strategic courage and advocacy managed to avert a great injustice, providing powerful lessons on the ability of one person's actions to change the course of history. Support for Esther's courage comes from numerous interpretations within religious and historical contexts. Many view Esther as a symbol of bravery and moral integrity, illustrating the potential for righteousness to triumph over wickedness. However, challenges to this narrative arise in the form of alternative interpretations. Some scholars question the historical accuracy of the story, arguing it is more allegorical than factual. There are also discussions about the extent of divine intervention versus human action in the tale, with some arguing her success was predetermined by a higher power rather than her own agency. Esther's courage is a linchpin that ties together various aspects of the story, influencing themes of identity, faith, and leadership. Her actions demonstrate the intersection of personal conviction with social duty, inspiring others to recognize the importance of standing up for what is right, even when faced with fear. This foundational concept of courage sets the stage for exploring broader discussions on justice, influencing the way individuals perceive their roles in their communities and the impact they can make by acting against injustices and advocating for truth. Esther's courage, within the context of standing up for justice and truth, is a profound example of moral bravery and integrity. It represents the ability to confront danger and uncertainty for the sake of righteousness and the greater good. Courage, in this setting, is not merely the absence of fear, but the determination to act rightly despite fear. Esther, a Jewish queen in the Persian Empire, exemplified such courage when she risked her life to save her people from a genocidal plot, illustrating the power of individual action in the face of systemic injustice. The significance of Esther's courage is deeply rooted in her willingness to prioritize the welfare of others above her own safety, epitomizing selfless leadership. Her actions underscore the pivotal role of courage in challenging power structures and advocating for justice. This narrative resonates across time as a symbol of how bravery can influence significant socio-political transformations. Real-world applications of Esther's courage are evident in numerous historical and contemporary contexts. Consider Rosa Parks, whose refusal to give up her bus seat in 1955 fueled the civil rights movement in the United States. Her courageous act was a catalyst for challenging racial segregation and spurred nationwide efforts towards equality. Similarly, Malala Yousafzai's advocacy for girls' education in the face of extremist threats mirrors Esther's resilience. Her courage underpins global movements for educational rights and empowerment, demonstrating how individual bravery can inspire systemic change. Opinions supporting the value of courage in achieving justice often highlight it as essential in combating oppression. Many argue that without such bravery, progress in human rights and equality would stagnate. However, challenges to this notion include the dangers and personal sacrifices involved, which can discourage individuals from taking action. Some may argue that systemic issues require structural solutions, rather than relying on individual bravery alone. Controversies may arise regarding the interpretation of courage and its limits. While some see it as a moral imperative, others may view it as impractical or even reckless, especially in contexts where the risks are disproportionately high. Esther's courage is interconnected with other aspects of her story, such as faith and wisdom, which collectively highlight the complexity of pursuing justice. Her courage inspired others to confront injustices and became a timeless beacon of hope and resilience. Ultimately, the narrative of Esther's courage serves as a reminder that individual actions, grounded in moral conviction, have the potential to effect profound and lasting change. Understanding Esther's courage involves examining the unique blend of characteristics and motivations that enabled her to stand up for justice and truth. Esther's courage is defined by her unwavering determination to protect her people, the Jews, from annihilation, while risking her own life in the process. This kind of courage is rooted in selflessness, a deep sense of duty, and the willingness to challenge unjust power structures even when the odds are stacked against her. The significance of Esther's courage in the context of standing up for justice and truth is profound. Her story embodies the timeless struggle against oppression and tyranny, illustrating how individuals, regardless of their position, can make a substantial impact in the face of adversity. Esther's bravery serves as a powerful reminder that courage is not the absence of fear, but the resolute action in spite of it. Her actions highlight the importance of moral integrity and the responsibility to speak out against injustice, which are timeless principles relevant to numerous social justice movements today. Real-world examples that echo Esther's courage include figures like Malala Yousafzai, who stood against the Taliban in her fight for girls' education in Pakistan. Despite the risk to her life, similar to Esther, Malala's courage was driven by a commitment to justice and truth. Another example is Rosa Parks, whose refusal to relinquish her bus seat became a catalyst for the civil rights movement in the United States. Her act of defiance illustrated the kind of personal bravery and motivation to confront systemic injustice that parallels Esther's story. Opinions supporting the idea of Esther's courage emphasize the necessity of individual bravery in the broader fight for justice. Many believe that change often begins with one person's bold stance, inspiring collective action and societal shifts. Esther's story reinforces the notion that courage can lead to meaningful change, even when it comes from unexpected sources. However, Esther's courage is not without challenges and controversies. Some argue that her privileged position as queen may undermine the authenticity of her courage, suggesting that her actions were less risky than they would be for a commoner. Additionally, debates arise around the interpretation of religious versus secular motivations driving Esther's decisions. In the larger narrative of Esther's courage, standing up for justice and truth, her character is a pivotal touchstone, influencing discussions on related topics like leadership, ethical responsibility, and the role of women in history and society. Esther's courage inspires and encourages others to act righteously, showing that standing up for what is right is a cornerstone in the quest for justice and truth. Esther's courage is a compelling narrative of resilience and moral fortitude, demonstrating how standing up for justice and truth can lead to transformative outcomes. At its core, Esther's courage represents the ability to confront adversity and make difficult decisions for the greater good, even when personal risks are involved. This courage is pivotal within the story of Esther, as she faces a life-threatening challenge to intervene on behalf of her people against a genocidal decree. Her willingness to speak out against the injustice planned by Haman, despite the danger it posed to her own life, exemplifies true bravery and a steadfast commitment to truth. The significance of this concept is profound in the context of the main topic, which explores justice and truth. Esther's actions underscore the power of standing against oppression and advocating for the voiceless. This narrative is a timeless reminder that courage can catalyze change, even in seemingly impossible situations. One real-world example of such courage is seen in the actions of Rosa Parks, whose refusal to give up her seat on a segregated bus became a pivotal moment in the American civil rights movement. Her courageous stance against racial injustice stimulated nationwide efforts to end racial segregation. Similarly, Malala Yousafzai's advocacy for girls' education in Pakistan, despite threats to her life, exemplifies modern-day courage in the face of systemic injustice. Both these instances highlight how individual acts of bravery can inspire broader societal change and echo Esther's legacy of courage. Opinions supporting this idea emphasize the necessity of courage in achieving justice. Advocates argue that without individuals willing to challenge unjust systems, progress would stagnate. However, challenges to this concept include the personal risks involved, which can deter individuals from taking action. Opponents may argue that such actions should be tempered with caution to avoid undue harm, suggesting alternative, less confrontational approaches. Despite these challenges, Esther's courage profoundly influences other aspects of her story, illustrating the interconnectedness of personal bravery and societal justice. Her actions inspired a collective awakening among her people, catalyzing a shift in their fate. This connection underscores the ripple effect of standing up for justice and truth, portraying courage as an essential element in the pursuit of ethical and just societies. Esther's legacy is a testament to the enduring power of courage, reminding us that truth and justice often require bold, principled action.